for the. Ooh, Craig is now recording.
He's recording.
Yes,
Like
sir.
that. No, I am all for the inappropriate language, but we need to have at least some human decency there.
Yeah, this is a podcast.
Okay, so Aaron, Trevor, and Zavery and I came up with a little a list of things we might talk about during this. The first one he said was funny stories in the past. I assume he had funny stories,
But
then
he's
he
not
ditched.
here.
So, the other things are political views, religious views, and past relationships. That third one, I think,
That's gonna be something.
will be quite
Past
interesting.
relationships, huh?
Yeah, I didn't suggest that one.
That's interesting. I think it would be a very interesting thing to talk about. The fact that you're dating our ex.
Oh
Right.
yes, absolutely.
But I
Well, that-
did hear Zavery not want to talk about it.
I don't mind about it. I honestly don't care. We could.
I feel like we're playing with some slight fire here, you know.
I mean, David dated KK and almost Alex, so
I
mean-
did do those things. Yeah, it's fair to
Yeah,
say I've made
but
some
I
regrettable
mean,
decisions.
also to be fair, Zavery did fuck a monkey.
Oh, you did fuck a whore.
Okay, that's fair.
I love how we have immediately gone into the rated R realm. I just want to sip my
All love
coffee in
here.
peace.
Well, you know what? Oh my god. All I have to say is fuck both of you. Because you're both scum of the earth.
Oh, thanks,
Aw.
man. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, no
The
problem.
love I get from you.
That's what I'm
I
here
live
for.
So shall we start with political views then?
Yeah.
Okay, political views. Go ahead,
ahead,
David.
Aaron.
Take the
No, that's
floor.
all right.
Let's talk about the what Trump's doing right now for the coronavirus. Do you think he's doing a good job, or do you think he needs some motivational help to steer in one direction?
I don't know what that means.
Do you think he's doing a good
Does
job
you
with what he's
you
doing
want
right
a
now?
little like one of the girls Joe Biden sniffed behind him, like with a pom pom? I don't know what you're talking about by
So like,
a motivational
so here's
speaker
where
there.
I'm at though, right? Trump, though some of his moves are a bit questionable. I think he's doing the best that he could be doing. Given where his background with business, he's very untrusty of, things, and so as a businessman, I think he's doing what he thinks is right, and that's fair. Obviously, as everyone in this situation, he could be doing more, we could be doing more, but it's a question of at what cost could he be doing more?
Yeah.
I personally think too much is happening. I think we're logging down the economy way too hard. About 75% of people are asymptomatic, and that's portrayed as a bad thing because you're asymptomatic and therefore you spread it to more people. But it ignores the part where 75% of people are asymptomatic and therefore it's not that bad.
Okay, but listen, that's 25% of the population. That's a big ass group
that
of people
have symptoms, and most of those people are just getting a light cough and moving on.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief.
So on the CDC's website, one of the ways they're doing coronavirus deaths are if someone dies and the doctor thinks they might have had coronavirus, they can label that as a coronavirus death. Another thing that's interesting to look at is that what is the lung disease called? Starts with a P. Pneumonia. Pneumonia and flu deaths have dropped to
I thought you were
effectively
gonna say
zero.
bronchitis.
No, pneumonia
Dyslexic.
and flu deaths have dropped to effectively zero this year, and so they're over-reporting deaths by mislabeling some flu deaths and pneumonia deaths.
Okay,
And
okay, but
another thing is that they're
at what
underreporting.
cost? Shut up. At what cost?
infections.
Okay, does someone die from fucking pneumonia?
I'm sorry.
How fucking
How do
retarded?
people die from a pneumonia? The fuck is that the question?
It's the at-risk people. It's the people who are going to die anyway. It's the people that are like 85 and older, or they have cancer, or some sort of underlying.
They have
issue.
cancer. Cancer doesn't correlate in this problem, Eric. Fucking
It absolutely does, because they're also labeling cancer patients who get coronavirus. The leading cause of death they're saying is coronavirus, and not the cancer that was terminal.
Okay. No, I can guarantee you though that the cancer patients that are being labeled as dead because of the corona probably were already, in pretty close areas from the fucking radiation. So I don't think it was the cancer that killed them. If anything, it was the radiation. Now, that's still mislabeling, but it's not
Right.
the cancer.
Anyway, the point is that coronavirus, I don't think it's nearly as deadly as the media or the CDC or the federal government, for that matter, are labeling it as.
Yeah.
Okay, well here's the problem with that though. China has only two things going on. They don't have a high population of cancer because, the Chinese regime fucking murders everybody who has anything wrong with them. So they have two things that are just wiping out groups of people, and that would be the swine flu that recently came back and the coronavirus. So as it sits right now, though over here it may seem downplayed, right? Because we have doctors reporting all sorts of shit for what would apparently be corona. And China, they're under-reporting, and so, obviously, in China, it looks like there's nothing going on, but in reality, there's. I would honestly vouch for like a quarter of their population being
Shit.
fucking massacred by these two viruses.
I think the United States is over-reporting deaths and under-reporting infection rates.
Yeah.
Because, for example, there were like 7 new cases in Abilene over the past day. There are probably a lot more than that actually have the coronavirus.
Well, so the problem with that though is that the hospitals have to get their hands on the testing kits, and in your father's situation where he can't get tested because he's not been
Right.
recently exposed to
That's
anybody
not the
that they
fault
know
of the
about.
hospital. That's the fault of the health department, which is why I'm saying the United States is artificially keeping the numbers low.
It's not. No, well, it's not even the health department of the federal government at this point. It's Bill Gates's foundation, because they are the ones in charge. They patented. Fuck. They have a patent. They have a patent on the virus itself. They have a patent on the testing kits, and if they can come up with a vaccine, I can guarantee you they're gonna try to patent that shit too.
Interesting.
Yeah. Did you also know that Bill Gates' foundation, where the biochemistry is done, is in China, where the outbreak was? Like
See, this pandemic has turned us all into a conspiracy theorist.
less than a fucking mile from his foundation medical lab.
Interesting. Xavier, what do you think? You haven't said words.
Yeah.
Sure. I think he's doing enough that he can be doing. There's not much that you could do other than
we
fucking
were talking
martial
about Trump,
law.
weren't we?
Yeah. It's not. You can't do anything more other than martial law. That's probably the only other outcome that he could have done, and that's just, if I see you outside your house, you're getting shot. I don't fucking care.
That's not martial law.
No, I don't care. That's what I was saying. But although China's doing that, so I mean,
I don't know. I think the authoritarians were just begging for something like this to happen.
Welcome to Bill Gates, man. That's his entire fucking thing. Though I love the man to death, he's a bit of a of a mastermind behind a lot of really shady things.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest worry is that this kind of thing is going to lead to like the coronavirus is going to dwindle out eventually, but I'm worried that a few governments around the world, maybe not the United States, but a few governments around the world are just going to be like, yeah, we can't ever have this happen again, so we're all going to just have a stay-at-home order forever.
The U.S. can't do that because of the Constitution. However, as we've seen with 9/11, the federal government, particularly our Western civilization federal governments, have decided that based on dramatic events recently, we're going to trample over any rights that are protected, and government security is basically top priority. Hence why we have the TSA, we have NSA,
Right.
the CIA and the FBI are always in your shit for no goddamn reason. Basically, I imagine they're going to use this for something really shady, and tell us like it's okay, we're just monitoring, and then like
Right.
actually use it for something else, like they have been doing with the NSA, for example. Because we have a history of doing that for whatever fucking reason.
Yeah.
As well, I mean, for a great example, though it doesn't really pertain to the U.S. because we've already established a separation from the corporation. If I remember right, it's pronounced Hawaii. It's a Chinese.
Hawaii?
It's a Chinese.
Not the state.
Yeah,
I assume.
I got you.
It's a Chinese tech corporation. I mean, it's a fucking big ass conglomerate because they don't have anything against monopolies in China. Well, Australia has recently told them to fuck off, and banned them from using anything in their country because of the fact that there's been some questionable moves involving biotechnology from the company.
You sound
They've
like you're unsure about that.
Well, because I'm not really sure that it's biotechnology. It's a microchip. It's a RFID microchip that's implanted in the webbing between the thumb and the index finger, and it's used to unlock doors and make purchases and shit like you would your phone or an actual key or something.
Right.
But it also has a GPS tracker on it, and because the corporation is so shady at points, the governments that are actually involved with the corporation are really questioning the motives, because it's a mobile payment as well, and so you have all your banking account information on it, and so the corporation has access to everything about you at that point.
Right.
And so there's a lot of hesitation. Of course, Trump has already told the company to not ever come into America, but
Right.
it's an interesting thing to watch, particularly Australia, which isn't very conservative as a country.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that countries are banning them, because we already have that kind of thing with Apple and Google and all of that. It's just not a chip. I think it's called a cell phone.
Yeah. Well, here's the difference, right? Because of the federal laws and the international laws on human testing and animal testing, and what you can and can't do medically with the human body, and it starts trampling on some really interesting grounds of biochemistry and biotechnology. And it also is a very, very like intrusive invasion of privacy, where like a cell phone you can turn off, and it may still track you, but it can't record you once you turn it off because the hardware just isn't there. The battery isn't being drained as much. But with that stupid thing, you can't turn it off because it's more than likely going to be set on a nerve, and so it's always on, no matter what, even unless you're dead,
Right.
I guess. But it's like, what the hell? I mean, no.
Someone hacks it and causes it to shock your entire nervous system.
Well, actually, I was thinking about it. For those of us who are, overly tech savvy, we could just, use our cell phones and use the goddamn it, the NFR chipsets that are in the phones, and just hack
Yeah,
into
I know
them
what that
that
is.
way. It's just another wire. It's what we use for payments through the phones. Like if you
Gotcha.
just put your phone on the keypad of a credit card reader. Um, All right, Zavery, you can't do that. No sounds.
Cut. Skips this portion of audio. Zipper, what do you think of giant corporations invading your personal privacy via a chip in the hand?
Okay. So it's kind of a personal belief thing. One, you could say, fuck it, I'm contributing to the future. The other, you could say, fuck no, I'm gonna die if I get hacked. But Aaron, okay, so it could be what was that thing? RAM? You told me that it's RAM, right? Where nothing can hack into it. I talked to you about this in the AI thing, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
You could do something on the lines of that, but I don't know if that'll work in the way that.
Well, here's the thing. It's a chipset. It's not an
Yeah.
actual board. A
Yeah, no.
chipset is just a simple. Usually, it's just a CPU that is implanted and has a couple different transmitters or signal readers, receiver senders, and it sends information out. So these chips have no memory inside of them. They are instead always transmitting to a server somewhere across the globe, usually, because it's all of our actual servers are like in China and shit. And so there would be no way to stop it unless you are impeding its actual signal. And David is on intermission apparently.
Yeah. So I believe they could do something like that and maybe get away with something, but it's still. I don't believe that it's going to be invading privacy if you have the chance to say no. You're like whenever you download a new app on a phone and it says, "Hey, do you want to have this give access to photos?"
Yeah. Well,
cameras? I think we should do something like that. Like you read fucking this whole user agreement or something.
it's a terms and conditions. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, right? In the U.S., this was it was a few different smaller businesses. I mean, normal sized businesses that were asking their employees to put it in them. That's different because you have the ability to say no, I don't want to, and either quit or talk it out with your boss and
Yep.
somehow manage to survive. That being said, if you work for that big corporation, because I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm not going to keep trying to say their name. They were basically demanding it to be implanted in their employees, and to the point where it was either you put it in you, or we're taking out all of the fucking what is the bonus shit that you get, not just your money from a job, but
Your bonus.
uh, like health insurance, that kind of shit.
Okay, so benefits from working.
Benefits. Thank you. I was trying to think of the fucking word. So it gets rid of all of the benefits and doesn't really help you with anything. So, for the corporation to do that to its own employees, is really fucked up.
Yeah.
But Australia just didn't want that kind of shit in their country, which is fair. I don't want that shit in my country, but I have no position of power, so I can't say anything. But I was really intrigued by the fact that a more liberal approach to business, like Australia was like, no. I thought that was kind of cool. I kind of oh, there it goes. Kind of weird. So Zavery,
Yep.
now that our wonderful other fucking faggot is on intermission, how do you feel about this quarantining in your workout plan?
The workout plan, the thing that I haven't been abiding to.
Oh, good lord, Zavery.
No. So I don't know. It's like a 50-50 chance in my eyes. There's a 50% chance that we're going to go back to school, and the other 50% chance that we're not. I have been running somewhat recently. Yesterday I played basketball. That's like the physical thing I've done in this break, other than run 2.7 miles in 20 minutes. But I do think it's smart to do it because it's something to do other than just sit around, play Modern Warfare all day, or watch Netflix, or the things that I do. I think it's better to do it than not do it, but I'm just not applying that to my life. What about you, mate?
Well, I have actually recently, I'm sure you've seen it, I've recently decided that I'm going to make workout plans for anyone who wants them, and that goes for any Yahoo who has somehow managed to land on this goddamn podcast. But I myself have recently also started using the workout plan, and it's pretty hardcore. Today was the first day, and it's arm day, and I fucking destroyed my arm. It's all calisthenics, well, mainly. So lots of pull-ups, lots of push-ups. I was using cinder blocks for fucking curls and overhead press and that kind of shit. I don't know. It's really it at least takes up, an hour and a half of your time, and it makes you feel better for the rest of the day. So there is that. And I mean, of course, there's the long run of, you're getting in shape, you're looking good, you're feeling good. Overall, you're performing good. So I mean, there's always that.
Yeah.
But during quarantine
Quarantine.
in particular, I just think it's a really good way to use your time and, I don't know, actually do something productive.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was also talking to some of the girls that have decided to use the workout plan, and they were really hyped up. And one of them has actually already done it, and she was feeling it, of course. They're pretty hardcore shit. Not gonna lie. I
Yeah.
about killed myself on it. But speaking of being productive in this quarantine session,
Oh,
I've actually started practicing guitar again. So there's that.
fuck yeah. I have also been doing the same. See, there's one thing that I think is good about this quarantine. Well, it's kind of a group of things. One, you get to spend time with family if you're living with family, unlike me. You get to have time with them that you don't usually get. You get healthy sleeping hours. You get to actually learn at the pace you want to learn at, what time you want to learn at. You also learn new hobbies that you've never really thought about doing. I'm doing a photography challenge with Tegan and this girl named Kyra from Merkel. I don't really have much options, but I mean, it's making me have some traits a photographer would have at a limited space because I only have this house for my limited space for these big ideas and all that. But yeah, it brings out hobbies and etc. I also have been learning guitar again. I've learned what did I learn? I learned Say You Won't Let Go by James Arthur, and I learned Bad by James Bay. That shit smacks. But yes.
Yeah, so as I told you, for the sake of the podcast, to keep, some of this loose air filled up, as I was telling you yesterday, I believe, we have some very old school micro, or not micro, but the big old fucking keyboard
Computers?
only computers.
Yep.
And I was planning on bringing them down, downstairs and
Yeah.
actually using them. Because they're in mint condition, they're still wrapped. I mean, they're basically brand new still.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, I don't have the hookups for those on my TVs, and I'm not taking one of those monitors out of my closet, and so they're just stuck in there.
Yeah.
And I have been bored out of my mind. I can't start the server up because it, it just fucking hikes that goddamn power bill so goddamn much that it's not even worth doing in this fucking state. And with the exception of the one laptop that I still have running right now, I don't have any other computers to actually do anything on because they're all in one way or another a bit out of use.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just sitting on my butt trying to find things to do. And so, workout plan, the workout, learning guitar again, playing on the Xbox, being bored out of my mind. It's been interesting for sure.
Yeah. I've been trying to do stuff on the computer for my college and shit. I looked up more facts about Sam Houston and all that, and I mean I still want to go, but I did want to play tennis in college. They only have a tennis club, and I'm kind of pissed off. Not gonna lie, because it's only girls. Like they have girls tennis, and I'm like, damn, bro, that sucks. But I don't know. It does seem fun, but I don't know. There's some things that are just holding me back from it, but I'm most likely still gonna go.
Yeah. I still have to get my bacterial meningitis shot or whatever the fuck it's called.
Same. With all the shit going
Yeah, I
on,
know. With all this
it's
shit, it's
kinda
like
fucking
you can't
hard.
do anything. You can't do
It's
anything.
hard.
And like my I guess my admissions counselor is still like, hey, you need to get this shot. Hey, you need to get this
Yeah,
shot. Hey,
they called
get
me
the
the other day.
shot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, woman, I know you know what's going on. I can't do that yet.
TSTC and Sam Houston called me. They were like, "Hey, bro, you good?" They called me like 10 minutes apart from each other. I was like, "Oh." But they were just checking up on me, and I was like, "Yeah." And then Sam Houston checked for my orientation, which is $140, and I was like, "Is it still even gonna be a thing?" And they're like, "Yeah, most likely." I was
We're
like,
hoping.
I'm like, no, it's not gonna happen. It's $140, and the farthest thing is in July. Like, come on, dude. This thing's still gonna be affecting us most likely then.
Okay, David is going to be gone for another probably 10 minutes or so. He's apparently getting dragged into a bunch of stuff. So we're going to have to keep this on by ourselves. It's fine. That's what we're good at. Oh,
Hey, let me do a random topic generator.
okay, that works. Shoot.
All right, here we go. All right. Go. Why is this not working? Okay. What was the last movie you saw?
The last movie I saw.
Yep.
I actually think that was 1917. How about yourself?
I haven't really watched a lot of movies. I haven't watched any TV shows, honestly. I don't know if it was Wreck-It Ralph 2. I think it was Wreck-It Ralph 2. Yeah. It was alright. Not crazy.
So, for the sake of filling time, 1917 is based in World War One. It is freaking Jesus. I believe the invasion of the Ardonian Forest. I think
so.
you're gonna. I mean,
I
if you're
think it was.
listening to it, and go ahead and Google it. I'm gonna keep talking about it. But it's very dramatic. There's some over embellishment, but it's very easy to look over given the fact that the storyline itself is very impactful. I watch a lot of war movies, so a lot of the war and the loss and the just devastation and the chaos that happens, it kind of gets numb. But the movie definitely brought me back to a bit of humanity, if you will. Um, by the end of it, I was crying, and it really, really hit home. I don't know why, but it did. Something about just the cinematic style of it, I guess, really drove home how important that war was to the not only the soldiers but the people at home. There was some merciful parts in it. There were some very brutal parts. There was this beautiful scene where, not to give away any of the storyline, but the main character walks through a forest, and I'm not giving any story plots. And there's this beautiful song, and I have already forgotten the name of it, which is sad because it's all over my Spotify at this point. Um, I will just go ahead and find that real quick. It is "I Am a Poor Wayfaring Stranger." You might know it because Ed Sheeran, before he got really big, did a cover of it. It's a pretty well-known song in the folk land of wherever the fuck it came from. But I don't know, the song itself resonates with me, especially how that this person did it, and I already forgot his name, and I'm not looking at it again.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it just made me feel really connected to emotions that I've disconnected from. So it was very impactful. 10 out of 10. Would watch again. Have watched again. Still
What's
very good.
what's your favorite war movie?
Favorite war movie? So if we're talking like the movies based on war, it would have to be, I don't know. I've got a TV show in mind, which, the way that I watch it is basically a fucking movie, and that's called The Band of Brothers. It's a World War II movie, and it's just through. I believe, it's based on the Airborne, the 82nd Division. I could be wrong. Don't quite remember. It's been a while since I've watched it again. But movie, I'd have to say, as cheesy as it is, Saving Private Ryan was pretty good. It wasn't nearly as impactful as 1917, but it's a classic. Beyond that, obviously 1917, because I just gave it a glowing review. Because goddamn, that's a good movie. But there's a lot of movies that cover the topic of war. So I mean, it's a really hard decision because there's some really good ones, some really bad ones.
Yeah. I believe mine's either War Horse. That one's pretty good.
That is a good one.
Yeah, it made me cry. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, honestly, though, that horse.
Hacksaw Ridge. That one was good.
It's okay. It's very historically inaccurate, and that bothers me.
It is. But I just like I kind of like the mixture of love and what is it? Love and drama at the same point, because people try to force him out of the army because
because of his views, his religious views, and all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they go and they see him save like fucking, what was it, like 150 people or some shit.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Favorite horror movie?
Actually, fun fact, I don't like horror movies.
I don't either.
They make me not very happy in the slightest, which I know is their goal, but it like fucking dramatically affects me, to the point where like I will go days without being able to like sleep and shit.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything dramatic in my life, that would have caused anything like that, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
So like, especially certain topics, that horror movies are based on, whether it be serial rapist killers or, something like that, I mean, those really bother me.
Yeah.
So I don't have a favorite one of those. I think my favorite one to make fun of would be what was it, Megalodon? That was fucking stupid.
That's not even a horror, dude. That
Is that a thriller?
I
I don't know
saw
what
that
that
in
is.
theaters, hands down. One of the most
Is
boring.
it? Hang on. Let me see what it's classified as, and we will
It's
judge from
probably
that.
sci-fi drama. Sci-fi action comedy drama, some shit like that. But the last few times,
It's a thriller sci-fi.
oh, not even a horror, dog. Last few times I went to the movie theaters, I went on dates, and I believe God dang, they were so long. The movie, like Godzilla, the King of the Monsters,
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
Godzilla was stupid long.
It was so Well, it wasn't repetitive. I was like, dude, just kill the man already. Like, god damn. And then
That's a pretty popular thing, especially in Godzilla, where because of its Asian
yeah,
history. I don't know why, but the Asians love to hear or rewatch the story over and over again, especially with
yeah.
new effects and shit. I mean, I guess
It was a good
we're the
movie.
same way with like superheroes, so I mean that's fair.
I
But
mean, it wasn't as long as that. It was like 24 minutes more, and I was like, god damn. Like Endgame and Godzilla. Godzilla was like 24 minutes longer, or even 30 minutes max. I was like, damn, bro.
to this day, I still haven't watched Endgame, and I still don't want to.
What? It's not. I don't know. Honest opinion, not really the best movie, but this. I don't know. I like the fight scene.
Actually, I don't like superheroes very much. I think they're a weird way to display, normal things that normal people have, like,
Yeah.
humble and honesty and, trust
Yep.
and, having, I don't know, self-respect. But I had this urge a couple days ago to go and watch all of the Spider-Mans. And I
Which
found
ones,
out
though? Which ones?
1, 2, 3, and then Venom. But here's the thing. I couldn't watch them. You know why?
Why?
1 and 2 aren't on any streaming service without having to buy it or
Yeah.
rent it.
Two is one of the rarest movies I've seen. I've only seen it like twice in my life.
We
It
own them.
was,
I just didn't want to go get them because they've
ugh,
got those giant billfolds of fucking movies that I hate.
yeah.
Like 2,000 fucking movies in a goddamn billfold, and they're all full.
Okay, which Spider-Man's your favorite Spider-Man? We have Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and what's his fucking name? McGregor or something.
Whoever the original was.
The original. Hands down, not gonna lie, my favorite is Andrew Garfield just because of the fucking SFX.
Isn't he the one with the square looking jaw?
No, he has like a long ass face, long linky body.
What was his name?
He was the guy that played in Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh.
Andrew Garfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I liked him, but okay, the very first one was the one that built the story the most. Second one was the best FX. Third one is the best comedy, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, Tom Holland is a funny little fucker.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen the movie, but I have seen a lot of interviews with him, and goddamn, he is just a goofy, funny son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And of course, that's with all respect.
I'm going some risky territory, all right? Okay. Best out of the four, all right? We have Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and Star Trek. Which one's the best? Rank them from 1 to 4.
Okay, that's easy sauce. Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, Star Wars, Harry Potter.
Damn, you really putting Star Wars. Damn, bro.
Well, I'm just not a big fan of Star Wars.
Damn.
And I hate Harry Potter.
So first I would have to go Lord of the Rings. second Star Wars, third Harry Potter, and then fourth Star Trek. Star Trek is so repetitive. It's literally the same things from the original movies. And I'm over here like, dude.
Well, so here's the thing. Unlike the rest of those that the other three,
Yep.
Star Trek is actually a TV series first.
Yeah.
Well, originally books, but the actual series has most of the actual juicy lore and all the different kinds of creatures and the characters. You get more out of the actual TV series than you will any of the movies that they can come up with because Hollywood just likes to repeat shit. That's basically
Yeah.
all they're good at. Um,
Yeah.
which is why all of our thrillers are the same fucking things. Jaws, The Meg. Why?
Yep.
Now, I am interested to get into this argument with David because I know David really loves Harry Potter, and I don't know why. Because in my own eyes,
Probably
Harry
because of his
Potter.
girlfriend.
Yeah, well, no, even before he started dating, her. Um, I don't know. Harry Potter just seemed very elementary in its writing style and some of the views, and
Yeah,
especially
it's
now that.
more understandable.
Yeah,
And
well,
writing.
now that she's trying to change the characters, especially now that she's trying to change the characters to be something that they weren't, it pisses me off, right? You've
Wait, she's
already,
trying to change him?
well, so she's trying to make them gay or trans or some
Are you
shit like
talking
that.
about the new movies or
No, like she's, um, I'll have to pull him up at some point, probably when David gets back. But she tweeted out something about the female being gay or some crap.
Hermione?
Yeah, it was either Hermione or the
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 blonde,
ginger kid, the ginger kid,
the
the
ginger?
dude.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I mean, it was something about them being gay or some shit. And personally, right? Nothing wrong with any gays. Nothing wrong with anyone who thinks that there's something they're whatever. I don't care. Just stay away from me. Um, there's just you've already written the story. You can't change the characters like that.
Yeah.
that's
It's
dumb.
been years and now you're trying to change it.
That would be fine if it was a new series and there was actually a way to implement a story plot device that could change them, but you
Yeah.
can't because of how you wrote it the first time. Like it's
See,
set in stone already.
if she wanted Hermione Granger to be gay, that's honestly going to change
Yeah, honestly,
the
because
whole story, really.
if I remember
Because
correctly, not only does Harry have a thing for her, but so does the ginger kid.
I didn't. Harry did have a crush, and then he didn't, and then
Well,
redhead.
like
Then
so
they got jealous.
whatever book it was that they're having to fight off the oh shit, I don't remember what they're called, where they're like they're on a
Dementors.
train and it's
Dementors, yeah, that's a Goblet of Fire.
yeah, okay, so that one. He has a thing for her in that one. I know
Yeah,
that one.
yep,
So in order to change her sexuality, she would have to rewrite the entire fucking series.
yeah. It's
This conversation changed a lot from when I was here a second
Oh,
ago.
so
we got
David,
to talking about movies.
yeah, okay, so here's your question. Rank these four, okay? Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Trek, Star Wars. Rank them.
Harry Potter, Star Wars, Star Trek, and no, sorry. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Star Trek.
Okay, so my point is made. All right.
That Star Trek was
now,
the worst.
now, David, tell me why you put Harry Potter as your first.
I really enjoy literary archetypes, and Harry Potter has absolutely all of them.
But what reading level do you say Harry Potter is at?
Not very high. It's pretty accessible.
Exactly. That's why it's more understandable, and that's why people look
The
at
the difference is though is that it has multiple layers of depth, and so the older you are and the more accustomed you are to reading
the more deeper you
stories,
think.
especially mythological stories, there are multiple layers of depth, and you can always get something out of it. So
Yeah. We were talking
Lord of the
about
Rings is very similar in that respect.
we were talking about how J.K. Rowling is trying to change how the characters are now to where one of the girls becomes gay,
Which
probably
is quite a
Hermione
shame.
Granger, and we were discussing how that would change the whole baseline of the story, and that she shouldn't do that.
Which
Because
character?
it's too late. Hermione, probably, most likely.
Yeah, I don't know. She tweeted it out, and I don't remember. Oh, okay, there we go. I
You
wasn't
cut out there,
expecting to
buddy.
do this, so I don't have the tweet, but she tweeted it out, and it was something very controversial. It was pretty much everywhere at that point. They were trying to change the sexuality of one of the characters, and I don't know if it was Hermione or if it was the ginger kid. All I know is that it was something that would have fundamentally changed the story, and you can't do that, especially with how much she's written. She couldn't do that.
Yeah.
If it was a new series, still she could add in a plot device that could change it, but at the point that she's at, she can't.
Yeah.
And it's
As far
also
as I can tell,
pandering.
J.K. Rowling is one of the best writers in recent times. But it's really a shame that she's changing everything. And like the Dumbledore was gay thing, that one, for me, it sort of fit. He always
What?
seemed to have an interesting relationship with the idea of love, and never really talked about any of his previous relationships or anything. And so that one kind of fit. But the more recent ones, where she's just randomly changing people into homosexuals and everything, it doesn't really fit with the story.
Yeah, so I wouldn't go as far as you did with the whole like she's one of the best writers. I think her writing is pretty shit. I've read like Roland Smith, for example. Now her reading level, or his, I don't quite know if it's a male or a female. Their books aren't the highest in reading level. However, it provides a really good, in just immersive story. I mean, you've got
Right.
traditional like teenage fucking angst and all that shit going on, of course. But like the actual creatures that they write about and all of that, it's quality. That being said, that would be my comparison to J.K. Rowling. I think it's it's a good book for the youth, but I don't think it's one of the top books or the top authors or the top series or anything like that.
It's
I think
certainly one of
it's
the most successful, and I don't think that's a
okay. It is
result of bad writing.
definitely one of the most successful. I will admit that.
Although, you know what, 50 Shades of Grey was also really successful, and those books suck. So
So was Twilight.
Okay, yeah, that is a good point. Okay, Twilight was shitty. I mean, everything about that fucking storyline is garbage. There are so many plot holes.
so
The
bad.
writing is terrible. The fucking acting in the movies is god awful. Everything about it is shit, and yet it is still one of the best sellers.
Okay, half
So
of the
tell
movie
me,
time. Half of the movie time is them just staring at each other.
or
That's-
like, fucking the Wolfman and his half nakedness, 24/7.
Yeah, Edward constantly glowing for no goddamn reason.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, the
It's
vampires
just
fucking
fine.
glitter, which I might add, actually isn't a Twilight feature. That is a very long tradition of vampires, is them kind of glittering in the sunlight because they're either melting, depending on the story, or they're on fire. So, I mean, it makes sense to an extent, but not to the extent that they
Right, but
need it.
it's like I don't even know who the author. I can't remember who the author of Twilight is. It's just so bad I don't care. But it's like they dumbed it down and tried to make it sexy, and it's like, no, the vampires are supposed to burn.
Yeah, I know. Like, I think a lot of the glitter effect that they wanted to add was because she was always is her name Bella. She was always staring at them like, "I want to fuck you." Like that was kind of the whole point in her interactions with them.
I want all of your glitter bits.
I want to suck on your glitter balls.
Oh no! Oh man!
Okay, now
Yeah,
tell
so-
me why Star Trek was your least favorite.
I don't know if it's necessarily a bad series. I'm just not very familiar with it. I mean, I've watched a few episodes here and there, and I watched a couple of the new movies. But as far as I just haven't immersed myself in it very much.
Okay, so that's fair. That's a good reason. Personally, I think Star Trek, almost did Star Wars. I think Star Trek is a very good series, in particular the actual TV series and not any of the movies. The movies are kind of interesting, kind of boring, kind of repetitive. I'm interested to see how Piccolo is gonna go. That's the new series based on the old commander of the whatever the fuck it's called. But I think the actual TV series was very good. It very much so implemented characters like it was in a very timely manner, so it wasn't boring. The missions were always kind of interesting. Some of the ideas that were behind the episodes were really fucking cool. But I think the series itself is good. Now, Star Wars. Now here's where everyone is kind of on either. There's only two ships released for Star Wars.
Fuck
Either
yeah.
you hate it or you love it, right?
I think
Now,
there's a third ship, which is
They don't care.
they never should have added the last 3 movies.
okay, then, sure. So I'm on a stranded island because I don't really care for Star Wars because I haven't really immersed myself in it. But the little that I've seen, it looks kind of fucking stupid. So just want to put that out there.
I mean, that's fair.
Which is weird because I'm a big fan in fantasies and that kind of sci-fi and all that shit. I'm a big fan
If
of
this
all
little
that.
podcast here had the potential to reach more than 2 viewers, I'd say you'd piss a lot of people off. But
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Oh, I know. I would be on so many people's chopping blocks just from the little big
it's
statement
like
that I made.
you do not make controversial statements about Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars or Harry Potter because you guys like to fucking just destroy for whatever goddamn reason.
Oh, I don't care.
Well, no, not you in particular, but like the fan base of Harry Potter. God damn.
Oh, they're crazy.
Fucking yeah, bloodthirsty little hounds.
I don't know. I think the primary fan base of any particular entertainment sector are they're all crazy.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess I haven't really seen that with Lord of the Rings, but I also don't really, talk to Lord of the Ring fans that much,
Right.
because I sit in my room. But from the little that I've talked to them, they're usually just weird people. There's not much to them. But again, I am very not, experienced in the land of Lord of the Ring fans.
You mean Star Wars fans?
No, I've talked to a
you
lot of
just
Star
don't
Wars
know
fans.
any. Oh, okay. So what I'm hearing here is that we all need to have a Star Wars marathon.
Not again.
No, because last time that happened, there were some not fun events.
Oh.
Wait, you were with David and I when we fucking stayed up all night and that just canceled.
No, see, I wasn't with you two, but there was something else going on while you two were doing that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I did not.
Oh, is that our segue into the past relationships section?
You know what? Sure.
We already.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I'm cool with that. I don't give a shit. So, for the viewers who are potentially not even here,
The viewers, we don't have viewers.
While they were doing
visuals, there's no view. It's just listening.
Okay, the listeners, fine, fuck you. The night that they're talking about in particular has to do with my ex-girlfriend who is a whore. We're gonna call her what should we call her? Bitch McGee.
Rosalinda.
Rosalinda, that works. I'm cool with that. Well, kind of. I know Rosalinda, but we're gonna let it go. So Rosalinda did some not nice things to me. In particular, using a person who I thought was a really good friend of mine and someone that I was really helping, actually fix their goddamn lives.
Yeah, Harry.
Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty hairy. That works. His fucking unibrow and all. And so Harry and Rosalinda hit it off after me introducing them. And slowly but surely, I could feel that there was going to be some sort of problem between those two. And though through my best efforts, she continued to be a nuisance in this situation and continued to get involved in Harry's life. Now, Zavery, David, go ahead and explain what was happening this particular night.
We were watching Star Wars.
That's
'Cause
all
we
you
were
got
gonna
there,
see-
Xavier?
What? We were gonna see the new Skywalker movie, the one that came out the night of, and so we
The
were
Rise
like,
of Skywalker, yeah.
it'll be a good old night if we stay up without any sleep and go see the new movie, you know. So didn't almost fall asleep in the movie theater. But it was just David and I just chilling, making Legos. I still miss.
Oh yeah, and also
still miss
Rosalinda and
Harry.
Harry were there.
Oh yeah.
Cuddling away.
Wait, were they? Wait, who?
Rosalinda and Harry.
They were there? When? What? No, it was
What they
just
were
Barry that
they
night.
were there, weren't they?
No, it was just Harry. My bad. It was just Harry that night.
You sure?
Yeah,
No, Rosalinda left earlier that night.
I believe so.
She was there for a second.
I honestly don't really remember that, other than I was highly
Doesn't matter.
entertained.
Anyway, Harry and Rosalinda were periodically cuddling throughout different days and times.
Yeah, and on
So-
and just in case that you're wondering, dear listener, now there is another part to this, and it's very interesting. She's fucking crazy. God damn, is she crazy? To the point where she told me that she was going to kill herself. Mind you, I have dealt with that in my life, and so I take those kinds of things very serious. Whether that be a fault, I'm not certain. However, I reacted in a very childish way, I will admit. I had a few too many energy drinks for sure. So I had an anxiety attack and fucking went off on my dad because he wasn't going to take me over there to see her because I don't have a license. And for whatever reason, I decided it was a great idea after she just totally ignored a call, more like the 30th call, that I was going to destroy my phone. Now, mind you, I don't know, it's a decent phone. It was only a couple $100, nothing crazy, but I threw it as hard as I could on a tile floor, shattered the fuck out of it. Once we get video up and going on this bitch, I will be sure to show you guys the craziness that is the phone now.
You still have it?
Yeah, oh no, it's in my drawer, right next to me. But I don't know. There was a lot going on particular night. Turns out she was just full of shit, and she was just playing on my heartstrings. And she was with Harry that night, and then left with some friends who she lives with, or lived with. Apparently, they were cuddling that night as well. Yeah, that was great. And then cheated on me like 4 times before I finally just got fed up. And yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great learning experience for sure. Learned not to trust whores. Speaking of whores, where am I going to go with this?
Ah, fucking shit.
I will not be complicit in your implications here.
Is this a Tim?
Did you want to talk about past relationships further back than that, Aaron, or you just want to leave it with Rosalinda for now?
I don't know. Do one of you guys want to share a story? Because if not, I will go further back.
Oh, I'll share a good old craziness story. So, I was dating this girl. Let's call her Rebecca. All right.
We know
We're
Rebecca.
We know lots of Rebeccas.
Okay. So it's not Rebecca, but it's someone.
Can you give us a hint as to who it is, just so
I know
what
who
we're
it is.
talking about?
Yeah. I texted her recently. Aaron knows this. Yeah, M.
The one you just dropped?
No, that's K. We're talking about M. The OG one. The OG
Oh, I
that you
see.
said I still miss, and I'm like, maybe.
Okay.
So one night, dude, I don't know what it was. This was like at the tipping point. This was like make it or break it
Which
on
tip?
like life support type shit. And when the cord's almost about to fall out. So one night I was just sleeping on the phone, and we always did that and all that. And I was like, "Hey, yo, wake me up if you have a nightmare and shit," because I was a simp back then. I was like, "Oh, I'm a hero." Fucking. So I woke up in the middle of the night around like 4 or some shit. She was already up, just chilling. I was like, "Hey, are you up?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "You
Yep.
good?" And she's like, "No, I had a fucking nightmare." I was like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry. What was it about?" She's like, fucking telling me about it. I honestly don't remember because I'm so tired. And
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
cared.
I did care. I was like, "Hey, maybe if you just go back to bed, it's not gonna be." And then she's like, "I can't just go to bed." I'm like, "Why?" Just close your eyes. I'll be here right. And she's like, "You don't fucking get me." I'm like, "God damn." Hostility, nigga. God
That just
damn.
sounds like teenage angst.
I fucking know. I can't wait to get a
That
relationship
sounds healthy.
where I'm just chilling. um,
They're pretty nice.
they are. But fucking, I'm like, I don't know what to fucking do. God damn it! I said that, and then fucking yelling match starts happening, and I'm over here like, I'm going to fucking go, and
I'm
she's
going
like,
to die.
go. And then I believe the next day I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore, Chief.
Hey, you know what's funny? This is also the story of how we met, or how I met Zavery.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
that's where our relationship started. I was crying in the locker room. Supposedly, I don't remember that. I don't remember that whole week. It was just a blur. I was just fucking. Yeah, I remember. I was at an assembly the day that I broke up with her, and she was sitting in front of me, like 2 seats away, and I was like,
Oh, that's
"Fuck."
horrible.
I was over here, and she was crying. I was like, "Dude, I can't do
Hey,
this."
if it
And then
makes you feel
Tori,
any better, I'm still haunted by my ex. So I mean, there you go.
okay.
Someone
But
keeps dragging her around me.
oh, I know. I'm over here just trying to fucking live life. I'm
Which one are you
going.
haunted by?
Is it Paige?
No, God no. Who's Paige?
Oh, I know, because someone's dragging her around. Oh, it's
Hey,
both
Xavier, you gotta stop
Paige
using fake names, man. Use the real names.
and I did.
You stupid
Oh,
fuck.
yeah, my it was Bailey. Bailey, right?
Oh my god.
We respect the privacy of our terrible women. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, though it may not be very respectful for me to, call her a whore and a bitch through social media, I will respect at least her privacy in the state of her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that we've said it.
Well, hey, I didn't say it. It's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, there you go. It's not your fault. Blame the Mexican.
Dirty
Eh?
Mexican.
¿Cómo ese?
Who are you haunted by, Aaron?
Oh,
Well, one of
someone's
us is dating
girlfriend.
her in the movie.
Really? What do you mean you're haunted?
Why is it that I sat down this year, right, before any of this quarantine shit happened, the first day of fucking school, right, our senior year, where I wanted peace and quiet and just bro time. So I sit with my homies, and you fucking bring that dirty fucking whore near
At the
my
beginning of
goddamn
the year,
breakfast
that
table.
wasn't me.
Oh, that was probably me.
Xavier, I
Actually,
will
no, I think that was
fuck
I'm trying to
you
Xavier,
be
up.
man.
nice,
He
bro.
was
Fuck you. Can I not
he
be
was dating her
nice?
before I was. I was still with we'll call her Lydia. I was still with Lydia at the time.
Yeah,
That woman fucking is a terrible human
pissing
being.
me off, dude. She's pissing me off at work. God damn.
Love this. Well, don't worry. Now there's a global pandemic, and you probably won't ever see her again,
I hope not.
unless you see me and her at some
I
point.
saw her mom
So,
today. So I mean, there was that.
oh, that's unfortunate.
No, I like her mom. Her mom likes me still. We're tight.
Seriously,
Yeah,
that is an odd dynamic.
it is. But
Although you seem to have an affinity for people's moms, so
listen. If they make good buns, I'm in.
God damn it. Not again.
Well, no. Oh, my laptop's doing something weird. No, it's just I basically saved her daughter's life, and so we're still tight even through her daughter's bullshit. So, there's
yeah,
that.
I am not complicit in any negative things you'll say there.
No
I don't know.
negativity. No
I don't-
negativity.
I don't know what that was about, but okay.
Well, you're going to say very mean things about what shall we nickname this one?
Rebecca.
Sharkeisha. All right, got it.
Sharkeisha?
You're going to say very mean things about Sharkeisha, and I'm just making sure that it's clear that I'm not complicit in them. You're welcome.
Hey.
Hey!
Is that love bums?
Tell her to sit there.
Look,
Tell her I
don't
said
have a
hi.
studio. Okay, this this is my bedroom. It's got thin doors.
I will do terrible things to your mother.
I feel like we've got off topic. Oh. Well,
Hell,
Zavery, did you have
I'll
anything
even
else
do
you wanted to
terrible things to
share
your dad.
with past relationships, Zavery?
What?
I had a relationship with your mom once. That was nice.
It's devolved.
Shit. Oh no, Zavery's got like, how many relationships? 3? 4?
3 serious. I count 3 of them as serious, and like probably 15 as not serious.
I'm
Oh
sorry.
my god. God, you're a fucking whore.
I was a whore back then, and I'm probably going to become a whore in college. Do I care? No.
You don't have to become one. You already are.
Fuck yeah! On the step, nigga.
It will just get
Oh.
worse.
On the step. Oh, fun fact: Sam
Okay.
Houston is the #1 ranked party school in Texas.
Oh, I thought you were fixing to say rape school.
I mean, hey, it does have rape alleys.
I think
Actually,
those
no,
correlate.
wait, no. Yeah, no, if it's a party school, it's definitely a rape school.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
Because
Well,
that's
I'm glad
exactly how
Xavier's
that shit
going there.
happens. I
That'll
wonder.
be good
Fucking
for his
Mexican.
adult development.
Yay!
Fucking shit.
Excellent contribution. Shall we move on to my relationship history?
Sure, faggot.
Yeah, since both of you suck at actually laying out a history and just talked about one thing.
Shut up! You dated KK and ate her fucking
So
whole
my
piece
first-
macaroni and cheese and didn't like it, faggot.
My
Yeah, you
first,
can't even love her mom. What the hell's
Hey,
wrong
I
with
was gonna share that. Okay, don't steal my thunder.
Oh, my bad.
So,
okay.
my
So
Sorry,
first 3
it's
we're
fun
gonna
if
relationships
you
we're gonna
that
date
I
talk
could
about.
KK.
Hang on,
consider.
shut up. This got chaotic. Okay, let me start this one off, and then you take it when I tell you to.
Okay.
So David,
Yes, father.
in freshman year, was still new to public schooling because he was homeschooled before this. And
I was homeschooled until 8th grade. Yeah.
yeah, and then in 8th grade, I kind of somehow managed to take him under my wing, which is a very awful thing because I am obviously not very socially adept for normal conversations.
It had its positive and negative effects.
And so, for whatever reason, he seemed to take my advice like it was actually useful. And I told him to go after or try to date a particular girl that attended our school. We're gonna
Was this
call
freshman
her.
or sophomore year? I
Let's
thought
call
it
her
was.
It was
TT.
freshman year. Freshman year was who?
I don't think
TT?
there was anyone freshman year.
No, freshman year was TT.
It was the girl that starts with A that's dating the guy.
No, that was sophomore year.
That was sophomore year?
Yes, that was
Okay,
sophomore.
so was it freshman that you got me involved with TT?
Yes.
Okay.
And so for whatever reason, he took that advice and he did go for her. Now, I have to preface this. She was
Preface.
a very
Yeah.
preface. She was a very weird person. Very,
Was.
very okay. Is a very, very weird person. To the point where she's mocked every second that we can. And now, David, you can take the reins now.
Oh man. So TT and I were in choir together, along with Aaron, and I started talking to TT, and me not really having any ability to analyze a human being, as anything other than woman at that point.
Woman. kitchen maker.
Hand holding. So there was that, and Aaron, I thought you were just, the guy, okay, the dude who knew things about women because you were in a relationship with one that I might say is rather attractive.
No.
No personal bias there. Um, and I thought, well, that's a stable relationship. It wasn't, but I thought it was, and
Until you ate the fucking macaroni and cheese.
We're getting there, Zavery. Shut up.
Shut up.
Fuck, my bad. I'm getting excited.
So I remember a particular conversation that TT and I were having
Who-
in the choir, and we were just talking. I think we had like held hands for a second, just as a non-serious joke kind of thing. And Aaron was like, "I ship it," and I was like, "Huh? What's a ship?" And then TT said, "I ship it too." And then all of a sudden, we were shipping together. So, like the Chinese coronavirus, it was terrible from the start, and perpetrated by a terrible human being. Aaron, thank you.
Thank you.
And we probably dated for like a week and a half, and the relationship ended either the day after or a couple days after our first date, in which she made me some mac and cheese. Now, mac and cheese is my favorite meal. Okay, I just love it, especially homemade mac and cheese. So I was very excited to hear that that's what I was going to be made that night by her. And then I was
But little did he
gruesomely disappointed.
know.
I was gruesomely disappointed. It was like someone took cardboard and soaked it in gasoline, threw it into a small wood fire, and then put some like fake McDonald's American cheese on it, and then baked it.
So what you're telling me is that it was a garbage fire.
It was a dumpster fire. I believe that's the correct term.
Garbage.
And so after that, I realized there was no way I was ever going to let this woman cook for me.
And so he
So I broke it
therefore
off.
declared that she wasn't a fit woman to do anything
She
with.
wasn't going to make a good wife one day. So
Bitch can't make good mac and cheese. She ain't worth it.
I mean, hell, my mom doesn't
no,
cook, and
the
she can
real
even
reason
make
was
good
that I
mac and
realized
cheese.
she was absolutely insane, and her mother was as well.
Okay, now I also want to point out, not only did he fall for my trickery once, but he did it again.
Oh no, part 2.
Part 2, different lass, of course.
So am I going over this one as well? I don't want to.
We can summarize this one. Crazy batshit girl.
We're gonna call her Alicia Keys.
Bet.
No, Alicia Keys actually has talent.
All right, yeah.
The color just big nose.
You shouldn't have a big nose though.
I know. I just like making fun of people.
Okay.
She's not very good at much of anything, and though we are still friends, her and I, there was
She
a lot of
really?
yes, there was a lot of
That's true.
hatred. Just I will go over that later, Xavier. Shut up. There was a lot of hatred at that point between her and I, and so I decided best way to get rid of her out of my life, at least, was to put her in David's life. And so I did.
Honestly,
I
you're a
did
terrible
just that.
friend.
Listen, man, she was annoying. I wanted you to take care of it, and you made it worse
Yeah,
somehow.
so that didn't go well at all. Essentially, that one lasted 1 week and 6 days. I refuse to say 2 weeks.
2 weeks was too long.
Oh man, no, that was terrible. In my idiocy, I had told her that I loved her, and she took that as a message from God himself.
Damn
That we were
Christians.
destined to be together. And so after I broke that off, she continued to be with me for 6 months plus.
Yeah, and then between
Well, I
their
ran away.
breakup and the end of their hangout, that she was forcing onto him, she also apparently came back to me and hooked on like a fucking leech, and so I couldn't get rid of her until probably last year, where I had a pretty major personality or social personality change.
He was practicing
Um,
social distancing. Yeah.
Actually, I was practicing
Way
not
ahead.
being a fucking cock 24/7, which has been a little bit of a success, a little bit of not success. But I did learn, to just let things go, and so
Right.
her and I are still tight, ish. Not so much anymore because of a recent event that she decided to do, where she basically did a TBH or a RDH. I don't know what the difference is between those two.
Rate date
Um,
hit, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So a TBH then. And posted Rosalina. Is that what her name was?
I think so, yeah.
Rosalinda is the
Rosalinda.
cheating.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it. She posted Rosalinda on her Snapchat story saying that she was a wonderful person.
Ooh,
And that, of course, caused some pretty serious issues.
I can't imagine why.
For the sake of not, hearing a bunch of fucking crying and moaning, I was just like, fine, whatever, just figure your shit out. And so here we are, still ignoring her, but nothing
I
new.
see.
That's an
Okay.
update for David too. So David, actually, I was meaning to ask you this before we did this, but I'm gonna do it now because I don't care. How do you feel about Call of Duty Modern Warfare?
Okay, so I guess we're just skipping past the rest of our relationships and going into Call of Duty. Why not? I don't know.
The only
I
relationship
haven't
I
played
love.
it.
Well, I mean, I've got money that I can spend because I don't have much going on, and so I was just wondering if it was even worth me buying as someone who's not a fan of Call of Duty in general.
I
wouldn't
don't
buy it.
think. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it. Knowing you, I don't think you would buy it.
Knowing
Well,
me
I mean,
or anyone else that should not buy it, I would say don't buy it.
I mean, I played the original Call of Duties. They were fucking awesome, and I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and I played Modern Warfare a couple times, but not enough to really know the storyline.
Yep.
So, is this new one, the new remaster, is it even worth a shit?
No.
No.
As far as I can tell, it's just a reskin of every other Call of Duty ever.
The campaign's alright that I've played so far. It's pretty cool, but
I got bored with it very quickly.
the campaign?
Yep.
Wow.
Played like
So
maybe
what you're
two and
telling
a half
me
missions.
is I need to stay a Battlefield diehard.
Pretty much, yeah.
Just stick with what you got and what you're enjoying. I don't think any of the newer Call of Duties are really worth much.
David, I am not enjoying much.
Well, that's because we're all socially isolated, and even though you do that already, you now feel more alone. So
Fuck you. I mean, at least I have Forza, with a steering wheel, so that can entertain me for a couple hours.
Yep.
Before I get annoyed. So we already went over the workouts while you were. Do you have anything you want to add on to the workout stuff?
I don't work out. That's my contribution.
Okay. You're weird. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that wasn't political?
On this little list of things that we set up beforehand, one of them was religious views. So if you wanted to talk about that, we could.
Oh, that's an interesting one. If it's not politics that's going to get us in fights, it's going to be the religious part. So personally, I fuck. Oh my god.
Me too.
I have somehow managed to forget the word. Oh, I'm agnostic. There we go.
Yeah.
I believe that there could, or maybe even is, a higher being that is, above all creatures that are on this planet and maybe even in the universe. But I don't think it's really worth a shit and giving any thought to, because it's not something we're going to have an answer to until we possibly die, and even then, maybe not.
Right.
So
Because you'll be dead.
I mean, it doesn't matter. So I just don't put a whole lot of thought into it. Don't get me wrong, I still have, thought about it quite a bit against my own judgment. I like the idea of particularly the Christian method of, there's one being and he sacrificed his entire being to the sins of humanity to correct those, but I don't think it's really worth that much of a shit. So
Now, Zavery, was Aaron cutting out for you as well there, or was that just me?
Yes, he was
Okay.
indeed.
did you get any of that?
So essentially what you're saying is you're agnostic, you think there might be a God, you think that it might even be probable, but you're not going to waste energy thinking about something you don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know why I was cutting out, but okay.
That's okay. I forgive you.
I don't care if you forgive me or not.
Zavery, what about you, man? One of the recent conversations we had, Zavery, and by recent I mean like 3 months ago, you were saying you were actually getting into Christianity a little bit. Is that something that's still happening?
Nope.
Okay.
I just like the music. I just been listening to it recently, and I'm like, this is some good ass music. And I was like, but I don't believe in what it says. That's really about
Okay.
it. I'm still at where I am, belief wise. Not really anything's gonna happen after death, other than we go into just a deep sleep and we dream of nothing.
Okay. So would you call yourself an atheist then?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, well, an atheist sets about disproving religion. Oh my god, it's doing it again. Atheism goes about disproving any and all religions. So I
It
wouldn't
depends.
necessarily call
So that would
yourself
be
an
the technical
atheist.
definition, but a lot of people that identify as atheists would just say they don't believe there is a God.
Well, that's because they're dumb. There's an actual word, and I'm gonna Google it just to prove it, because I know there's an actual word of not wanting to believe in anything, which is typically agnostic. But
Nihilism?
no, nihilism. That's not nihilism.
No, that's totally nihilism. The rejection of all religious and moral principles and the belief that life is
Okay,
meaningless.
that's moral. Fuck you.
Of all religious principles.
Let's see. Who? No, it is agnostic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Agnosticism, is the view that the existence of God or the divine or the supernatural is unknown or unknowable.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Which I think is most people. I don't think really, because it's not something that most people really think about on day-to-day life. I mean, down here in the south of the USA, it is, but
Yeah, I think and I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure in the last couple of decades is the first time the United States had more people that weren't religious than Christians.
no,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. At least through the surveys. I don't know if they were surveying religion or not in the olden days, but I do know that it is very, very much so seen as a problem through various different forms of organizations and governments and stuff. Just because it kind of saturates the market of morals, and so you have people who are willing to steal because they don't think it's an immoral wrong, which is weird.
I don't know. I think most people think stealing is wrong, but I don't know.
How about you, David? What are your views?
That's a very complicated question. I'll start with this. Until about early sophomore year, I guess, or maybe mid sophomore year, I would have called myself a devout Christian. Though, especially in the years leading up to sophomore year, that very much changed as far as the amount I acted as though I believed in God or Jesus or anything like that. And around sophomore year, I started questioning it, and I decided I wasn't going to, in the name of honesty, I wasn't going to pretend I believed in something that I didn't even pray to on a regular basis or act as though I believed in it. So as a result of that, right now, I would say agnostic might be the best word to describe me. I'm not going to say there isn't a God. I don't think that's very useful. And another thing to mention is that you can't base a system of morals off of pure atheism or rationalism. And so I think the belief in God is very useful for many people, and it's probably done. This is controversial, but I think it's done more good than harm, at least as far as Christianity is concerned. So I'm not against religion, but I'm not going to pretend I believe in something.
That's fair. I mean, personally, which is it's kind of a hypocritical thing for me to say, but I think most countries would probably be better off if they follow the Christian faith,
Yeah,
just for
probably.
the sheer fact that it in itself causes some very severe morals to be implemented in everything. So,
Right.
whether it be a dumb fucking moral or not.
And that's not to say that atheists can't be moral.
Yeah, that
That's
is true.
obviously untrue. But a system of morals cannot be built on atheism, at least not as it stands today.
Well, the interesting thing about that is that science, right, which is usually what is used as the atheistic platform, has this tendency to it's a pretty divided field between the followers of a Christ of any sort, or of just straight atheism. Typically, biology scientists of any kind, whether it be geology, which isn't a biology but whatever, or some microbiology, anything like that, where it actually deals with Earth, typically believes in at least a god of some sort. Whereas things like tech scientists and shit, who just basically put materials together, don't tend to understand what it is that they're dealing with as a thing greater than themselves, which I think is kind of interesting because everyone assumes that scientists are usually atheists because they're in the field of science, and it's like, nah, it's not even close.
Right.
Yeah.
And now we have dead silence. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to me how many scientists are religious, because they see things like microbiology and lots of mathematical patterns and stuff that you can see in nature as proof of God's existence.
Which I still don't understand. I'm can you clarify me for me, David? Because I know Zavery can't. How the hell does math fucking work in fucking rocks and shit? I don't comprehend that for a fucking minute. All right.
So there, just a second. There is a golden ratio, or it's called a golden ratio in math, and it has this sort of pattern, a sort of a spiral pattern, and it's very specific. And you end up seeing the exact same pattern, the golden ratio, in many different plants and animals and all of that evolved differently or evolved separately over time. And so a lot of scientists use this as proof of a creator that specifically put that into a bunch of different creatures as a way of showing him in existence. I think the golden ratio is really cool. I think it's an interesting idea to think about. the idea of a creator that did all of that, but I don't think it's necessarily proof.
That's fair. Now, what I think is really probably a strong, convincing argument for me that there is a Christ of some sort is just how meticulous the mathematics in astrology and astronomy is. Because of like gravity, right? If the equation for gravity was just probably half a number off, it would have thrown everything off.
Right.
But it's so precise that it's like, holy shit, how the fuck does that even happen if it's a natural thing? There's got to be something.
No, it is still a
missed.
logical fallacy because it presumes that improbability means there has to be a creator.
No. I'm not saying it's not a fallacy. I'm just saying it's a pretty strong argument for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's a strong argument for everyone. I just think like because I like the stars, and so it's like, holy crap, man!
Like I like them.
Wow. The fact that it's so perfect that it makes all of these different, spheres that have all sorts of different things on them. It's like, whoa, that's cool.
Whoa.
Whoa,
Nice car.
oh, it's kind of cool.
I don't know. It's all very interesting to think about. None of it's particularly convincing, at least not from a logical standpoint. I don't know. I kind of like that it's that way though, because
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it's
someone who
better than
really
having
likes.
like a definite answer because it leaves something to the
Yeah,
imagination.
I really enjoy learning about things, and when you have something like religion or philosophy or the study of morals, just in general, the fact that there are no definite answers means that you can explore pretty much forever.
True.
Yeah. I mean, Zavery's not contributing much, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
That's okay. I think we sort of got out of his mental
I mean,
capacity.
okay, here. I got you. I got you on something. So, did you know that each branch of the tree expanding from the base equals the area of the base? So, every one of the twigs combined to
You mean the volume?
yeah, the volume. I don't fucking know. But everything that extends from the base equals the amount of the base.
That makes
Equals
sense
the
just from a
surface area.
physics standpoint, because if you're growing something, you need a base that is at least as strong as everything it's holding.
Unless you have
Yeah.
some sort of support. Trees do have natural supports within their base structure. The aging rings, for
Oh, yeah.
example, which I know you know about the aging rings, but they add structure within the thing because as the tree grows, those rings are basically the outside, and so it has its own set of outcoating strength outside of the or inside of the bark, so that when it grows, and the bark sheds and it regrows, it's not destroying that structure, and so even still, it would still be strong enough to hold a little bit over its actual volume in the base. Now,
Yeah.
mind you, I'm sure that's still kind of crazy, but that's just it's a cool thing. Zavery, why are you muted?
I'm not contributing anything.
Okay, well, stop playing fucking Call of Duty because I know that's what you're doing.
I'm not playing Call of Duty. I'm playing Destiny 2. Fuck you.
That's even worse. That game is so fucking gay.
It's cancer.
Xavier, when you suggest something like a podcast, I'd appreciate
Well, you
it
see,
if you
this is
stay
where
This
there.
is
podcast
your
usually
idea.
ends. This is where a podcast usually ends.
And now it devolves. It's like one and only episode. It's like we're done now.
We're done. No more. Zavery can't contribute. We're out.
Bro, there's nothing else to fucking. Bro, this is where a podcast usually. It's not like
You keep
a
saying that, except I don't even know how long we've been in this thing.
I don't know. A decent amount of time, I would say.
Let's see. I made him join 31. Yeah, it's been 2 hours.
Interesting.
Yep, this is where a podcast usually ends.
Well, unless you're Joe Rogan, then it goes for 5 hours.
Yeah, or if you're Crowder.
And Crowder usually ends his shows around an hour and a half. Unless
No,
it's on
there was
Thursday.
one there was one I saw that was 6 hours.
That was one of the mega streams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mega streams.
So fucking did you guys hear? I know I talked to one of you two about it. But did you hear about the recent YouTube drama that's been going on between our
I
dear
believe you
Lord,
talked to me about this.
our dear Lord Fitz and
Carson.
call me Carson, yeah.
What is that about? I saw it on Snapchat story. I don't know what it is.
So Call Me Carson was kind of recently. I mean, it was probably 2 months ago or so. He was featured on a dating show on, of course, Twitch, called Roz's Dating Show or something like that.
Yep.
Where he found this cute girl, Caterino, and they, were like, "Oh, you're pretty cool." She ended up being the girl that he chose, and she chose him, and so from there they just kind of went from friendship, gradually into a dating scene.
Yep.
Well, during this time, Fitz and Call Me Carson were best friends, so it's kind of like the situation between I and whatever their names are because I already forgot them.
Rosalinda.
Yeah, where Fitz decided that what out of whatever reason that he had, or if it was just a moment of just rash judgment, I don't quite know, and I don't really care. He decided that he was gonna get himself some Caterino, and so that happened. And Call Me Carson is taking a leave from YouTube and Twitch. We don't know how long, which sucks because he's definitely one of my favorite YouTubers.
Permanent.
Probably not permanent. He's got a pretty big fan base for that to happen. But it's been interesting. He's definitely made sure to make sure everyone in his fan base knows to not do a witch hunt against either one of them.
That's good.
I kind of disagree because
Bigger man and all that.
no, they should get what they deserve. I mean, they literally just backstabbed him, and personally, as I went through that shit, fuck that. No,
I don't personally agree with using a giant fan base to get that point across, though.
hey man, use whatever resources you got. Um, jokes aside, I think it's a really fucked up situation, and I hope the best for Call Me Carson. And though it was a really shitty thing, Fitz is probably dealing with his own problems, and so is Caterino because she is a sweet girl, and I'm sure she's feeling a lot of guilt from it. And so
Very
I
sweet.
shut up. I hope
Just like Rosalinda.
Damn.
I hope the best that they learn.
Yeah.
Because God knows if that happens again, I'm sure the YouTube community at least is gonna have her fucking head on a stick.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think a lot of times those things are just very impulsive, out of the blue mistakes that nobody's really thinking long term. So I hope they evolve into better people.
Yeah, I mean it kind of sucks because I was really, I'm a fan of both Fitz and Call Me Carson, so I'm kind of torn because I don't really know if I want to, support a creator who's done something that I personally have gone through and fuck that shit, or if I should just, forgive him for his mistake because we all make mistakes and just kind of hope he learns from it and continue to support him. Because it's like I personally have my own attachment to that kind of problem, and it's like, well, fuck. Am I a hypocrite if I do continue to support him, or I don't know. It just sucks not seeing Call Me Carson make YouTube videos anymore or Twitch streams because he was definitely by far one of my favorite YouTubers, as I've said.
It's kind of the question of do you separate the person from the art, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess because no one else is contributing, I've got a lot of topics that seem to be popping in
It's
my
because
head.
we have no idea who these people are, and you're just going. So that's okay.
Oh, you made me forget it. God damn it. Oh, there we go. So, how do you guys feel about the celebrities doing the songs that they're doing?
Songs.
I'll have to Google the names because I don't remember.
I've been doing a bit
what-
of an internet cleanse. I have no idea who you're talking about.
Okay, it's basically like people like Jennifer Lopez. I don't have no idea if she did it or not, but I know Will Smith did one, which probably means Jaden Smith did one. I know some weird drama people did it, but like they would sing little bits and parts of like Imagine
yeah, I got you.
of
I know
John
what it
Lennon,
is.
and like just
Oh, I
basically
see.
you put it together, you get the full song. And it was just really fucking annoying because they are in these goddamn mansions with butlers and shit. They have no idea what's actually happening. And yet they want to act like they do. And it bothers me because it's like, A, that's not even your fucking art. None of you people know how to sing correctly, or at least in a manner that is entertaining. And B, no one wants to hear you. You are literally not on anyone's mind right now. We are all focused
Right.
on our own personal problems, on our own personal self-quarantining problems. I mean, we have other shit going on that are more important than fucking stupid shit that doesn't matter. You know, and
Yeah,
it's
it seems
fine.
like you're pretty passionate about this.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, like if you're a musician, it's a cool thing, right? Because that's your art. That is what you get paid to do. And so if you and a few other musicians want to do that, that's great. If you're an artist and you want to do a collaboration with another artist and paint something or draw something, that's awesome. If you are an actor and you want to act with a bunch of other people to get a big point across, that's cool. That's in your own realm. That's fine. That's entertainment based on what you're paid for. However, when you try to overstep that and go into a territory you don't know anything about, that's why I have a problem. It would be like if a musician tried to go fucking paint something with some bunch of other musician, and it's like that's not your gut. It looks like shit. Like
I think you're overreacting a little bit to this.
no,
I mean,
okay, listen.
it's just a fun thing they wanted to do, and the other thing is, it's like nobody is a painter before they start painting.
Okay,
So
there is a difference between doing it by yourself, right, and practicing, and then showing like a progress of it in public. That's different. But that's not
right.
what they're doing. They're doing it to get views. They're doing it purposely to try to get more money because they're locked up in their mansions. Because the videos are monetized.
Well, that's everyone.
So David, tell me that it is not a shitty fucking thing to do, and that I should not be mad at the stupidest that is our fucking media.
Well,
You
some of
think
those
it's a
people
stupid
are
thing to cover
singers.
Imagine?
I mean, the song itself, I could care less about. It's more of just the fact that they tried to cover it in a way that they did in the 80s with the Africa movement shit that was going on.
We are the world.
Yeah, that shit. That was
We are
also
the
awful, and I think that
change.
was a stupid idea. But
That was a jam, bro.
I'm just a fucking Yankee.
A Yankee Doodle boy?
Yeah, no.
I don't know. It doesn't bother me too much. I think everyone's just sort of, doing stupid things and posting them online right now.
At me.
Because
Me.
usually they do stupid things in real life, but real life doesn't exist anymore. So
It's just our house.
it's it has to be posted online for everyone else to see. So I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I've never been a fan of the song Imagine much anyway.
I haven't either. I think it was written by someone who had a head too big for their own shoulders.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. The lyrics are a bit cringy. It's like he's trying to say something real deep.
Okay, well, I mean, it was in the 70s, a whole lot of
Yeah.
actual education going on. A lot of LSD was getting taken.
I also think it's very sexist that John Lennon wrote "Brotherhood of Man."
Oh my
What
god.
about the sisterhood and the Z-hood, and the gender non-binary hood? That's all I gotta say.
Oh my fucking god.
Okay, on that note, I think it's time to end because I'm not getting wrapped up in that argument.
Maybe
You don't
next
want to talk about. You know what? We probably won't talk about that. That's yeah.
We shouldn't because we're already probably going to get a lot of hate from what we've already said.
Yeah, from the two people.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna.
Hi, Mom.
Fucking.
Are you killing Craig?
Yeah, I'm fixing to.
All right. Thanks for listening, two people.
Once again, bye, Mom. Thank you for supporting me.
I don't like you. I hope you know that.
Yeah, which one of us?
Both.
Both.
Okay.